And we are live. K Sports Show free agency special. Feels like forever since we said those words. We've been on a little break, but K Sports Show free agency special. Welcome everybody. Exciting time for some fans, some teams. Not so exciting for others. We're here to break down all of the teams tonight, all 32. I got our backstage producer Graham with us tonight. How we doing, Graham?
Doing all right.
As a
It's
Bronco fan, not didn't sound too enthusiastic. The all right there.
pretty hard to stay awake at this point.
Yeah, the Broncos would be putting me up to sleep too. We got our special guest this evening. He's not special guest. He's part of our family on K&K. Host of What's the Scoop on Thursday night. Ryan Scoop Woodhams is joining me tonight, and I'm not going to say, I'm not even going to try to attempt to say your intro on your show. So why don't you go ahead and do your intro a day early to everybody out there?
All right, appreciate it. Excuse me. So how you guys doing? Glad to be back. Always excited to talk some football. Yeah, it's tomorrow night, Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, here on K&K. We've got What's the Scoop, which is a show that I have done with my buddy Brandon Furtado, and now most recently bringing on our mutual friend Robert Zalosi, which I also do another show with them called Football After Hours, which just recently joined K&K in the past couple weeks. But so yes, tomorrow and every Thursday we do. It's kind of all major sports in America. It's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, but definitely leaning toward baseball and football. Tomorrow will definitely be a football heavy show, particularly with everything that's going on the past week. But yeah, it's those guys are fantastic. We all kind of bring a different flavor to what we contribute to the show. Brandon is a very passionate fan. He kind of can speak for the sort of heavy passion fans of New York and Philly sports and all of that. Rob is from out west. He kind of covers a lot of what was going on. We talked about the Seattle a lot with him. And he kind of has a lot to contribute from out there, and obviously my contributions are more like analytical and whatnot. But yeah, so thanks for giving me a chance to talk about that. But I love the group that we work with, and I hope you guys, if you haven't checked it out, will come and check it out on Thursday nights. We've got a lot to talk about with both the World Baseball Classic going on and the football offseason beginning.
Nice. Yeah, check out Scoops. They do a great job not only with football but baseball all around for sure. Let's say some hellos. We got Josh BTCA coming
Yeah,
in.
that's a friend of Brandon, Rob, and now myself.
Nice.
From
Well,
a network or a project that they used to do. So how you doing, Josh? Good to have you on.
nice.
He's a big Jets fan, so I'm curious what he has to say about the Geno Smith.
Yeah, we'll get into the Jets shortly. Our good friend, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. Good evening, Kenny and Paul. And then he corrected it. Good evening, Kenny and Scoop.
I couldn't
Kenny
tell
and
if he was
Paul's
doing it
on
as
the
a
Monday
joke or if he
nights.
did it intentionally or not.
And Mr. Ernie Mays also saying hello, go Broncos country. Hello, Kenny K and Scoops. Jody wants to fire Boone ASAP, and I got
Wants to fire Boone
family coming in tonight. My cousin, my great family member, Mr. Sean Norris coming in. What's up, Kenny? How you doing, Sean?
How you
Good
doing,
to
Mr.
see
Norris?
you. Hope the family and everybody's doing well. Say hello to everybody for me. I'll be making a trip up to Jersey soon in the upcoming months, and maybe we can get some of the family together and have lunch or dinner and catch up with everybody. It'd be great. Thanks for hopping on, Sean. Appreciate it. We're doing some NFL football tonight, Sean. We got on Giants. We're talking about everybody, so questions are welcome and all. And Keith's coming in. Keith Brugman, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Evening, gentlemen. When does NFL free agency start? Asking for my Denver Broncos. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you one thing, man. The Broncos, I told you, Kurt is lucky he's not on this show tonight. Kurt Valenti. And Kurt Valenti, check out Kurt Valenti. He's really doing some good stuff. Broncos Daily on YouTube. He's the voice over there now. Graham, if you could put in the comments, fanarch.com, Broncos Daily. You can check out Kurt's daily content on the Broncos. But he's been wanting every free agent in the world. And now he's starting to sugarcoat it a little bit. He's not here to defend himself, so I'm not going to really go after Kurt if he's not here. But he's sugarcoating it a little bit. Kurt, time to step up, go make some moves. But we got another guest backstage. I want to welcome in, and we'll get the free agency stuff started. Bobby Blackjack's with us tonight. Surge Sports. What's up, Bobby?
What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? What's up, feline in the back there? I see the cat walking around.
Yeah, my cat just kind of does whatever she wants during these shows. But yeah, it's Pringles back there.
By the way, I'm sorry. I'm not going to hold back. Broncos are doing nothing. Nothing.
And we got Bronco fans in the audience tonight, along with everybody.
This show's what Broncos Daily. They're doing nothing daily.
Exactly.
Broncos. My God, what are they waiting for?
What was that?
What are they waiting for?
I don't know. Maybe they better get a trade because you ain't upgraded anywhere. And I know Keith Brugman. Check out Keith Brugman. They're going to be doing Denver Bronco Roundup on Rocky Mountain Sports Network later on. I know he's not happy, so go check out a fired up Keith Brugman if you want to join him and maybe give him some hope or agree with him. Go check him out. 10 p.m. Eastern time.
I don't know if I've ever seen Keith fired up.
So, guys, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Who's more pissed off right now? The Denver Bronco fan base or the owners and management of the Raiders?
The owners and management of the Raiders, I would have to say.
Yeah.
Not by much, though.
For sure. For sure.
Do you mind?
And Graham saying Raiders for sure. Bobby Scoops and Graham backstage. We got our producer backstage, Bobby. I don't think let me formally introduce you to Graham backstage. He's our producing for us tonight.
Please.
Graham, Bobby, he's putting all the comments up and graphics that we need for sure. Some websites. Can you put Surge Sports
Graham, get in
as
touch
well?
With me. Graham, get in touch with me later on in the next couple of days because we need producers on Surge as we grow. Now, I want to start bringing in shows that just want to come in and do a show instead of having to produce it or whatnot. So you never know.
Absolutely. Graham might be interested in that for sure. And Graham, can you put Surge Sports YouTube channel up in the chat as well? Please give a like and follow over there as well, as we're powered by Surge Sports. Also on the Roku and Amazon Fire channels on your streaming devices as well. Thank you again, Bobby. What I did, fellas, is we're going to breeze through some of these teams. We'll take a few minutes on some of these teams. We'll start with the NFC East. I got some of the key additions for some teams, and then we're going to give them a grade. And then, if you want to talk about it for a couple minutes, we can before we move on to the next team. Audience, ask questions along the way. We'll answer them. And we're going to start with our Giants, Bobby. And then we'll give a fair grade for the Giants. Key additions: Isaiah Likely, 3 years, $40 million. Tremaine Edmonds comes over from the Bears, 3 for $36 to replace Bobby Okereke. Greg Newsome, Jaguars former cornerback, we bring him in on a 1-year deal for $10 million. Re-signed Jermaine Illuminor and Evan Neal today. Couldn't believe that one. That one's a surprise. Jordan Stout gets the highest paid punter contract in history, 3 years, $12 million, but he averages over 50 a punt and continue inside the 20. Re-signed Micah McFadden, Isaiah Hodgins, and kicker Jason Sanders. A lot of moves, Bobby. And then I'll get Scoops' grade too. I'm just going to give a quick grade on it and let you guys talk about it a little bit. A-. And I say A- because we did lose some players as well, or it could have been an A+. But a lot of key additions here, and we're going to see if they can turn something in with Evan Neal and Micah McFadden coming back off injuries. So, Bobby, I'm going to give him an A-.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the B+, A- range. Yeah, we lost some players. Evan Neal, what is up with Evan Neal? By the way,
I don't know.
I feel that come through. I was in my happy place outside in the patio last day of warmth before we get back to crap again up here. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting all alerts on my phone. I'm like, Evan Neal, what the F? Why?
Yeah. And Sean Norris, my cousin, coming in saying, when I saw Neil was signed, I almost fell over.
Yeah, if I
And,
wasn't sitting down in the chair, I would have fell over. Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
What?
yep.
I don't know.
Ernie's asking, where's the Bronco questions? Ernie, you can ask them. We're going to get to the Broncos in a little bit. This is all 32 teams tonight, but there is Denver Bronco Roundup show. I got to plug my friend Keith. Scoop, I'm going to get to you in a second, but I want to hit the comments on my phone that are people
Yep.
that are watching on my Facebook page. Glenn Ashley out there in Australia. Thank you, Glenn.
Australia.
Down under. Glenn, you could check us out on Surge Sports on your Amazon Fire Stick. Bobby's got a bunch of different shows on there.
Yeah, we're on there
he's
now.
He's a big
I'm
Miami Heat fan.
watching.
He's a big Miami Heat fan in Bama.
Oh wow!
Ohio.
I wonder
points
I wonder if he's still celebrating from last night or 2 nights ago.
I'm sure he is. Sean's daughter. Thank you. Tell your dad I said hi. Cousin Kenny says hi. Sean's daughter. Glenn's saying the only free agent that got price wise Denver. Well, hold on, I'm butchering it. Sorry, Glenn. The only free agent that Denver didn't take is that they should have is Tyler Algier. Also waiting for Dallas Goedert's contract, and Scoops is an Eagle fan, so we can get into the Eagles next after we talk about the Giants. Not angry at all. We have to be cerebral in our approach. Keith loves Isaiah Likely for us, Bobby. Who has more yards, Theo Johnson or Isaiah Likely? Bobby is his question.
I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be if he's healthy. That's the caveat, right? It'll be Likely. But I think both are gonna do damage. I mean, look at even like the Raiders. You got Brock Bowers, but you got Michael Mayer there too. The 12 offense, which means 2 tight ends in the formation, is like a new trend now, and that's exactly why we kept Theo. It would have been Theo and Bellinger, but now we got Bellinger left. We got Likely, and now you can have both guys in there a lot. So I think that's gonna be a huge thing. And again, as we discussed in your show Monday night, one thing that's missing from the Giants, reason why I'm not giving them an A yet, I give them a B plus. We need a wide receiver. We need a plus wide receiver, somebody who's on the upper echelon of the top 50 wide receivers in the game. We don't have that yet, besides Neighbors.
Yeah.
Unless Arnold and Paul's idea comes to fruition, I don't know. Not yet. We need a receiver.
I'm close to it too because we still need receiver. We do need receivers. So curious. A couple comments and we'll get Scoops. Glenn's giving us an A. Keith likes Greg Newsome. So does Glenn. Likely Edmonds and Newsome. And then real quick about the Bam Adebayo. Glenn and his 6-year-old son's favorite players. So they were really stoked about the 83.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Scoops, give us a grade on the Giants. And then we'll go right into your Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, and let's not forget Jody Moncrief. I missed his comment because he said Boone gets fired. You got 3 Yankee fans on here, Jody.
You did read that,
though.
You did read that.
What am I, chopped liver? Is he saying? So now Jody's one of the horsemen. He'll be on Denver Bronco Roundup as well tonight. But Scoops, give us a grade on the Giants.
Yeah. So for this one, I'm gonna go with a B plus. Not because I didn't like any of the additions y'all made, but just because there needs to be more done on that offensive line. I think. So with what they've done so far, I'll say B plus. I am a big fan of Patrick Ricard. I know it's been a couple of years since he was that all-pro caliber player, but I think he fits in well with what John Harbaugh typically does offensively, and I think he adds more beef to an offense that, let's be honest, has a lot of good talent, but also was really kind of beaten up at times this past year. I do like Greg Newsome. I'm not sure that he'll be what he was back in his time in Cleveland, as weird as that is to say, but I like that addition for the defense. Likely you guys have already talked about. I don't have a ton more to add on that. I think it was a good move because I talked about the O-line. I think re-signing, and I'm going to butcher this, Illuminor. I don't know how to.
Jermaine Illuminor. Yep.
Yeah, Illuminor. So I think that was a solid move, especially in the pass blocking game. especially when you're talking about developing your young quarterback in Jackson Dart and trying to get that going. But now you've got potentially 2 tackles on, Illuminor on one side and Thomas on the other. Now you got to beef up that interior, because if you want to keep Cam Scutterbo from, being a 3 years and done running back, then you got to have some protection for him up the middle as well.
Yeah, well said.
Hey, Kenny, I have a quick trade I want to kind of throw out there into the universe. I was actually thinking about this today, doing my research and my sports reading and whatnot. So we need a wide receiver, right? And we've discussed it on your show, the potential of trading Thibodeau, right? Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yes.
What about Kayvon Thibodeau for Quentin Johnson from the Chargers? 1 for 1.
I actually do like Johnson, but I think we might be giving up too much one-on-one.
I mean that's actually be the base of the trade.
Yeah. No, I'm not against it. I like Thibodeau, though. I don't want to give him up, but I do see us maybe making a move for a wide receiver. But let me come back at you, Bobby, because Glenn's asking you this question. Bobby, can you see the Giants taking Carnell Tate to fill in the void at wide receiver? And I know we talked about it on the Giants show, and that was your guy.
And yeah, I mean, I'd rather have Jeremiah Love because I'm a Notre Dame guy, but it's probably going to be Tate right now, unless we sign somebody or make a trade for, that 1B, 2A starting wide receiver that we need badly.
I did a mock draft last week. I'm pretty sure Cardell Tate was my Giants pick.
It makes sense now because of our wide receiver depth. It's not there, so it makes more sense every day until something maybe changes with free agency or trade options. I'm still. I see. You said Quentin Johnson. I would swing for Jalen Waddle for Kayvon Thibodeau. I know that's probably not going to do that.
I was thinking more of the fact they lost one of their top
yes, they
linemen.
did. Yep. And we're going to get to the Commanders in a second.
He's got to replace him. They got to replace that guy. There's a need on both ends.
Yep. Michael's given us an A-, Ernie a B, and then Jody wants to know, how about playing Jalen Hyatt? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I gave up on Jalen Hyatt. He gave up on us. I gave up on him. That's how I look at that. My good friend Chaitin coming in saying, he's a big Red Sox fan, so he's saying, my thoughts on your baseball team. You might want to check out What's the Scoop tomorrow, Che, and you can have some fun as a Red Sox fan on a Yankee.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever gotten a new Red Sox fan on this.
Yeah, no, he was. Bobby met him. He came with Briggsy that time at the Firehouse Restaurant.
Who's that?
Cool.
Che.
Oh yeah.
Many years ago, we did the Firehouse show at the restaurant. First time I met you, and I brought Che with me. We were there.
I remember you telling me that story, actually.
Is this one with a nickname?
Che. Oh, Yo.
Yo, that's Yo?
It's Yo.
What's up, Yo?
Briggsy named him Yo, yep. Yes, he did, he said. Yes, he did. Let's do this, Scoop. You're the Eagle fan. I'm going to talk to you real quick, tell our audience about their signings and give them my grade, and then I'm going to pass it to you first, and Bobby will go second on this one.
Sounds good to me.
Nice signing for the Eagles, in my opinion. Tariq Woolen comes over, corner, 1 year, $15 million. I like him a lot. Re-signed Grant Calcaterra, underrated move. And Johnny Munt, don't know much about him, but tight end from the Jaguars. I'm sorry, Scoop. I'm not saying this because I'm a Giants fan, but a solid D for the Eagles because of the too many departures.
Yep.
Nakobe Dean, and I'll let you talk about them. But Nakobe Dean, Blankenship, Goddard maybe on the way out. Carter, there's rumors on him. A lot of departures on that defense, and of course Jalen Phillips, who you traded for last year. Panthers outbid you there, so
right.
I'm going to give him a D. I'm going to see where you're going to go as the fan, and then we'll get Bobby's grade as well.
All right. I just apologize for this, by the way, but I don't actually have them much higher than you do. I have them at about a C, because, like you said, I probably was overzealous. I thought it was a much more, I don't want to say foregone conclusion because those don't exist in the NFL, but I was much more confident in our ability to re-sign that, particularly Jalen Phillips. And the fact that he left was shocking to me. Most of the other moves, I wouldn't say I was too shocked because I did expect to lose a decent amount. They are making a priority this offseason to extend that young defensive core. They're working on. They just got an extension done with Jordan Davis. They announced that today officially. They're working on getting one done, I believe, with Jalen Carter. I know that there's still kind of there was some rumors about trades. As my understanding of that was that was only one rumor that pertained to Max Crosby, and I don't think that after that disaster went through with or didn't go through with the Ravens. My understanding is they have not tried to reignite talks. The only trade I'm aware of that they are trying to make is one currently with Minnesota, and I have absolutely no belief that would include Jalen Carter. But you were absolutely on it with a lot of the departures. That's just that in general. That's a lot of talent to lose, and we just don't know yet what a lot of those pieces are going to look like. So by nature, that has to be considered a net negative. This team is objectively not as good as it was 3 days ago. And again, that's just, I'm even the Reek Woolen signing. In fact, I don't know if anybody here read the Substack for my mock draft from FAH, but when I was making the Seahawks pick at number 32, I had them take Colton Hood. And I literally said in the explanation, we all watched Tariq Woolen at the end of the playoffs. And a week and a half later, he's on my freaking team. So I'm not the biggest Reek Woolen fan in terms of how he played at the end of the year. He could always prove me wrong. And again, I think pretty much anything is better than the guy that we took from you guys, Adoree Jackson. I guess that was the equalizer for getting Saquon. But aside from all that, I think that there's a lot left to be determined. They got a lot of comp picks, so I think that they're trying to make a lot happen in the draft, which is always a big thing for Howie Roseman. But again, the Reek Woolen signing, I need to be convinced on. I think a C is very fair. I don't know what's going on with AJ Brown. I do know that I was never expecting that to occur until much later in the offseason because that, unless it's a post-June 1 designation, financially, that's just an absolute nightmare. So that would be my expectation there. So that I'm not entirely surprised that hasn't happened yet. And even with the Patriots getting Romeo Doubs, my understanding was that does not take them out of the interest camp for AJ Brown. So that's kind of where I'm at. I still have a lot of optimism. You mentioned earlier about the Dallas Goedert thing. I can report that for anybody who hasn't heard it, that the Eagles and Goddard agreed to extend the void date for his contract until the end of this week. So they are agreeing or continuing to try and come to an agreement contract-wise. And then they also announced earlier today that Brandon Graham will be returning for the 2026 season as well as a sort of a depth defensive lineman. So that's pretty much everything I've got on the Eagles right now. But yeah, like I said, C, and I think that largely why I gave the Giants, I think, less of a grade than I perhaps could have, is just because I want to see them do more and I need to see them do more. I feel that way about the Giants. I feel that way about the Eagles, but the Eagles just lost more talent from their roster the last couple of days, which is obviously why I had to grade them lower.
Fair enough. I want to get a comment. Glenn's giving him a B-. If you lose Goddard, it's a C-. Michael Ronquillo wants to know the cat's name. What's your cat's name?
Her name is Pringles. I adopted her from my building manager a few months ago.
Jody, nice. That's awesome. Jody wants to trade Brown to the Broncos. Wants AJ Brown.
Yeah,
Bobby, you want to give a quick grade, and then we'll move on to a couple teams and pick up the pace on some of these teams that didn't make many moves, and we'll take time on the teams that did make some noise.
If they, by the way, Italy up 2-0. Yes, let's go Italy.
Italia.
If they didn't sign Woolen, right? It's the cornerback from Seattle.
They
did that one more time.
They would have had like a D, but I think he's a good pickup. So I right now I put it at C+. They could do more. We'll see what happens. Again, we're so early yet. There's a lot of big names out there, So
sure. I'll tell you one thing. Back to baseball. If Italy wins the World Baseball Classic, the Yankees better put an espresso machine in their dugout because they're on to something.
I don't know what happened with you. I don't know what happened with your guy Mark DeRosa last night, but what a brain fart that was.
That was bad. That was bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. Cowboys, we won't take too much time on them. I know we got some fans out there. Nicole's a big Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
A couple defensive moves that they made. Jalen Thompson, safety, comes over from the Cardinals for 3 years, $33 million. And Bronco fans out there, they lose PJ Locke for 1 year, $5 million. PJ Locke was at that piece for the Broncos. He goes over to the Cowboys. But bigger news: Rashawn Gary comes over in a trade for a fourth round pick. I'm going B plus. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going B plus. Not many moves, but they improved their defense with those three moves. Bobby, real quick on the Cowboys. We won't take too much time on this team.
They're still in the C range. I mean, what Jerry World blurts out, "Oh, we're gonna spend a lot of money this year." Well, he did nothing. I know he's getting older in age and just starting to blurt out stuff without meaning it, but nothing so far, right? They're so hamstrung by Dak Prescott's $60 million contract that it's ridiculous. Good for us, right? As Giants and Eagles fans. But my God, I mean, hey, maybe next year we'll have Dak Prescott as the Steelers quarterback.
Right.
At a certain point, they have to get out from under that. And you know, I love the guy, love the story, but he's not winning anything at $60 million.
I agree. I love Scoop. I want to get to this team first, but give us a quick thought on the Cowboys, and then I want to get to Alf sucks at mock drafts because he's a Seahawk fan.
That is an absolute hilarious username. I want to just say that real quick. The Cowboys have been weird. I liked what they were doing originally, and then it's gotten worse as time has gone on. Like, I didn't understand the trade of, I don't know how to say it. I didn't understand the trade of Odigizua. I don't know if I said that even close to correctly, to the 49ers. I think that he's a really good interior defender and pass rusher who I just don't think for what he got or what they got as a late day 2 pick. I don't think you're getting anybody in that selection who's going to make a bigger impact for you this year than is Odigizua, which to me, that's a weird decision to make if you are already hurting on defense. Trading Solomon Thomas is he was never what he was billed to be when he was drafted by the 49ers that early. But I mean, again, their focus has long been on defense the last few days, as it should have been. But these kind of just feel more like they're pieces, they're nice pieces. But this kind of just feels more like taking a D unit to a C unit, not taking a D unit to a B plus or A unit.
Yeah, well said. Pearl coming in. Okay, Broncos, do something! Exclamation points. Let's get to Alf, and I'll skip over the Commanders. We'll get back to them, and if a fan comes in of a team, and we're still early in the show, so let's hit the Seahawks for him. Alf sucks at mock drafts. Best YouTube screen name. I love it.
Yeah,
Seahawk fan. As I said previously, and Alf's been with us for a couple shows now, so welcome back, Alf. Appreciate you coming back and hanging out with us. Seahawk fan. As I said previously, I would have not paid Kenneth Walker $15 million, and that is what he got paid. And he's just saying, unsure if we got into it. No, we didn't. And we're going to get to it now. And then his comment below, he thinks trading Odigizua is a bit silly. They need whatever they can get defensively, and he's a very good interior
so we basically just said the same thing.
Let's get into the moves that they did make, and then some of the moves they lost, some of the players they lost. Rashid Shaheed, nice, in my opinion, nice bring back piece for the offense. 3 years, $51 million for Rashid Shaheed. And Brant Joby comes over 3 years, Josh Joby comes over 3 years, $24 million. You lose both Kobe Bryant in Tariq Woolen, along with Kenneth Walker and Odigizua, and I believe you lost another key piece on the defense as well. And I might have missed Alf.
Wait,
Please let us know
wait.
if there was any other
Where did
players.
Digazua come into that?
No, Odigizua wasn't on the Seahawks. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That's my bad. They did lose an edge rusher though, and I'd like to know who it was. I don't have it written down.
He got traded, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that.
He did.
Yeah, we talked Digazua. Yeah, we talked about that a moment ago.
Yeah. C- for me. I love the Shaheed signing, but you lost a lot of defense, and you gotta. I think Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen are huge losses. I think Seahawks are going to have to be strategic in ways, and they may have went backwards a little bit. So C- for me, Bobby. How about you?
The Seattle guy, Alpha, whatever his name, Alf. We discussed this in your show on Monday. What does he feel about Kadarian Price as a running back end of round one? Because you don't have any running backs right now. Zach Charbonnet is not coming back for game one. He got hurt too late in the season. Their backup, whoever played in the Super Bowl, was horrible. Not horrible, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't somebody I could see starting right away.
Right.
So you need They need running backs down there. What does he think of Kadarian Price as a first round draft pick?
Yeah.
You're not getting him at the end of two. No.
Okay, so Alf is filling us in. Ty Okada is going to be the replacement for Kobe Bryant, and Boye Mafe. That's the name I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
They lose Boye Mafe, another big loss there, in my opinion. Scoops, any thoughts on Seattle for Alf? He would take Price at 32, and no question about it, Bobby.
I mean, again, they definitely need to beef up their defensive secondary. That's why I have them taking Colton Hood at 32 in my mock draft. But I'm reluctant to be too concerned about them, in the sense that, I mean, obviously they just won the Super Bowl, but they also had a lot of pieces that were either on rookie contracts or one thing or another. We knew that they were going to be losing a few pieces. I think there's a couple of different people who, I think people feel kind of different ways about Woolen, obviously. But I'm not thinking that they're going to have a heavy miss. That was not a great way to phrase that. I don't think they're going to heavily miss. There we go. Guys like Kobe Bryant, for example. And in most cases, paying heavily a running back is not the best option. So I think that that's not the worst thing in the world for Seattle not to do, even though I think that he will put up good numbers, even outside of Seattle. But sometimes you'd rather a player be, doing well somewhere else than an albatross on your own team.
Alf throwing some names out, and then our friend Glenn in Australia also throwing some names out. Colton Hood, Brandon Cease, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Chris Johnson's all guys in the secondary he would be good with at 32. And I'm right there with you. I love those first three guys that you said. Chris Johnson, okay, you sold me on that too at 32, but those other three, I'm 100% on board. Glenn coming with defensive line for you, Alf. He says, keep your eyes on Miller, Peter Woods, and Lee Hunter. Miller in the draft at defensive line. I think they will take Price or Washington at running back somewhere in this draft, so maybe second round. But that Walker contract, and he couldn't have said it better, that's a massive Super Bowl tax. Get MVP of the Super Bowl, you get an upgrade there. Well, do guys, I'm gonna jump over to some teams. I see some fans in our audience, so I'm going to hit those teams up while they're here. So we got some Bronco fans in the audience, so why don't we hit the Broncos, or the lack of moves the Broncos made. Kurt Valenti, if you're out there listening, Bobby and I are coming after you. I'll wait, but I don't know if Bobby wants to wait. We're coming after you, my friend. J.K. Dobbins re-signs for 2 years, $20 million. Alex Singleton, the other big signing, 2 years, $15 million. I know they signed a bunch of other players, brought back brought back the backup tight ends, brought back backup players. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And Graham's not going to be upset with me, our producer, who's a Bronco fan. I think this is fair. And I'm going to go D. Solid D, not D plus, not D minus. I'm going solid D as in dog. No upgrades anywhere on a team that needs playmakers. Where's your playmakers coming from? And J.K. Dobbins can't play 17 games. I don't want to hear it's J.K. Dobbins, Kurt, or anybody else out there. J.K. Dobbins, good running back when in there. So I can only count on him for 10 games. That's it. Now you need to make some moves elsewhere. And they didn't do it. Right now in free agency, the grade is a D as in dog. Scoops, I'll go to you next.
Yeah, I mean, they better hope that their O-line run blocking from this past year with McGlinchey, Bolus, Miners, and Wattenberg holds up for this past season. From this past season, rather, if they have any hope of recreating or improving with Dobbins. Jody says he loves Denver's moves. I want to know what moves. But I also just I'll say this. I don't think that they're going to miss anybody that they lost all that badly. Like John Franklin Myers might be the biggest one, but I think he's replaceable. But again, like you're not a Super Bowl winning team. Like we talked about this in baseball. The LA Dodgers swamped everybody last year, and they went out and still were aggressively trying to get better. The Dodgers, the Broncos. Hello. And you can say, oh, they really probably would have won that game if they had Bo Nix and blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is they didn't. We can play the what-if game all night long. But they didn't. And the fact that you are still, Ernie Mace says Broncos get an A. Okay. The fact that you haven't made more moves. Now, again, I understand that the market plays itself out a certain way, and there's plenty of moves still to be made. I understand that, and then the draft's in one thing or another. But with that all being said, you had needs to address this offseason, and I'm surprised with some of the moves that have not been made, whether that's trying to improve on Roach or Allen on the defensive line, whether that's trying to improve penalties Moss as a CB2, whether that's whatever the case may be. And I don't know if this is just if they've been in on guys and guys have just decided not to go there. I don't know if they have been not willing to pay a certain amount, which would be surprising to me considering what this team has been known for with the, I'll say, generous spending. But I'm just not the biggest fan of what appears to be their strategy, if you want to call it that. I'm curious to see what they do in the draft. And again, there's, like we said earlier, in fairness to them, the offseason or the free agency period is in no way over. So that a week from now, we could be talking about, oh, wow, look at the 3 moves that they made. Again, I'm really struggling to see. They might be the most confused I am about a team that finished in the final 4 in the NFL this year. Yeah, exactly. Ms. Haters just said, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't make the Super Bowl. That's exactly my point. Like I feel like there's just sometimes where people, because it's their team, they're going to find a way to rationalize the greatness of any move that they make or didn't make. And I'm not loving what I'm seeing so far. And again, within 48 hours, they could completely prove me wrong. But I'm not getting my beak wet with any of these guys, with any of these moves right now.
I want to hit the comment board because Graham is on the board with this is going to be like a Broncos fans divide right here. You're going to get some that are okay with the move, some that not. Graham is not. Got to take the Broncos goggles off. No way did they get an A for a grade in his opinion. Jody is upgrade where? Yes, running back, but still have the draft.
Anywhere under wide receiver under Cortland Sutton would be one idea I have.
Yep, there's many. Couple good friends of Keith Stober coming in on my page. Great friend of our show and over at Rocky Mountain Sports Network. He says I got to trust the process. Still in a rebuild, and they made it to the playoffs. Fiscally, we're in a good situation. I'm not disagreeing that you're
That's at least a fair take, yeah.
That's a fair take. And I want Bobby to, because I know Bobby wants to come after Kurt a little bit, and I'm gonna give Bobby a couple minutes. But I'll just say, Keith, I can't trust the J.K. Dobbins, who's hurt every year, and we saw last year he couldn't get healthy for the playoffs. You got a healthy J.K. Dobbins. I'm not saying you're going to beat the Seahawks because it probably wouldn't have happened, but there's a good chance you beat the Patriots with a healthy J.K. Dobbins. That didn't happen. Not you, Keith, but Kurt Valenti and a lot of people in this audience. Jody Moncrief, I'm going to call you out, my friend, because you're a friend. Alex Singleton, where's the coverage linebackers? Yes, we got Dre Greenlaw. Yes, we got Dre Greenlaw. Now you all gave up on Dre Greenlaw because you released him. Nobody's getting on the case. I'm getting on the Broncos' case. They should have kept Dre Greenlaw and given him a second chance. That's an all-pro linebacker when healthy. Instead, you go and sign J.K. Dobbins. Maybe you should have kept Dre Greenlaw, because if you go into the season, I'm sorry, with Strenard and Singleton, your defense is taking a step backwards, and you're not going to be able to cover tight ends, and everybody's going to be on here, you know what, complaining about it. That's the point I'm making for Keith and Jody and those who want to trust the process. Sure, trust the process, but you got to still upgrade in places where hurt you last year, in my opinion. Go ahead, Bobby, take it away. And then I want to get to we're going to just give us a team in the audience you want us to cover. Got them all listed here, but we're going to go to Bobby because he's also a fan of the Steelers. So we'll do the Steelers next for Bobby.
Real quick, I'm kind of side-eyeing the game, right? They had a whole segment on the correlation between the espresso shots and the home runs the Italians are making. Like that's the reason why they're doing so well, is the espresso shots. By the way, does Lion have an espresso? Our buddies in Hawaii?
Lion, I'm not sure if they have espresso, but yeah, check out Lion Coffee. You want to put that in the chat there, Graham? Yeah. LionCoffee.com. 10% off of any of your Lion Coffee products. Use the code Patrick10. Get 10% off of any Lion Coffee product.
I'm going to give the Denver Broncos an A grade. A for absent.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I saw something today because I read a lot of stuff, especially around breakfast when I wake up and stuff. They were speculating that Kamara going to the Broncos once he's cut from the Saints. I mean, I understand you're a win now team. Talking about done running backs. Okay, Dobbins is not a bad back, but he's not staying healthy. You needed, like you said before, you needed Tyler Algier, because he's used to being 1B, or 2A plus behind Bijan. JK, what, going to play 3 games again and get hurt again? Then you have the a smallish running back there again? I don't know. And you're right, with the defense, they lost players. I'll tell you, what I'm really sick for, and I was rooting for this. Now that seeing how things played out in the Super Bowl and whatnot, I want to see the Buffalo Bills win a championship. I think they're due one, right? And they lost a big chance this year because they just couldn't have gotten past I forgot who they lost to off the top of my head, but they should have won this year. And but I like what they're doing though, the Bills, because now they realize that, hey, we should have won last year. Now we're gonna get our firepower in place. Yeah, but the Broncos, to me,
I think I would have liked it better sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go on.
I was going to say, I think I would have liked their offseason better had they not basically just said, oh, we need to go in a different direction at head coach, and then basically just added the offensive version of what they already had.
Yeah, that's a bad move.
Let's say hello to Trevor Salzman coming in, saying, what's up, everybody? Happy free agency, Bronco fans. He says the Broncos aren't done. More deals are coming.
We'll see.
Sean's daughter saying that's every year with the Bills. Bernie Bills are trash. But let's go up a little bit to I do have a request, guys. So I said request some teams. Bobby, we'll get to the Steelers in a second.
Sure.
Alf has a good one. He wants to know about the Saints. Graham, if you got that comment up there, if not, I could find it. Yeah, here you go. Have you guys talked about New Orleans? They had one of his favorite off seasons. I got the off season right here, guys. Mardi Gras, right? Travis Etienne. 3-0. Nice.
Yep.
Travis Etienne, the big running back that a lot of teams were after, takes a little hometown discount as he wanted to play for the Saints, as noted, as he specified. 4 years, 52 million. Speaking of those Buffalo Bills, Bobby, they take the big offensive lineman of theirs, David Edwards, goes for 61. Jonah Ellis, Bronco fans' brother. Bronco fans out there, Jonah Ellis's brother, Caden Ellis, gets 3 years for 33. And also Bronco fans, an old tight end of yours, Noah Fant, resigns as well. I got him as an A-. They improved where they needed to improve. They improved that running back. They got younger. They still have Kamara on the roster. Probably going to get moved now, or Kamara may even retire. You get a younger Kamara in ETN and paying him a couple million less than Kamara when Kamara is released. And they lose Cam Jordan, but I'm okay with that because Cam Jordan's getting up there in age. You can replace that in the draft. So receiver, you still got Chris Olave. Tyler Shuck could be their quarterback. Kellen Moore's doing some good things over there. So I do like the offseason that they had. I think they improved in 3 key spots. And I'm going to give them an A-, Bobby.
No, I think, you know what? They found lightning in the bottle with Shuck, who started off, like, if you remember the writings and the press clippings and whatnot, when last season started, oh, this guy's garbage. He can't do anything. Rattler beat him out for the starting job. But then all of a sudden, he started growing into what he should be. He was an older quarterback to begin with. And you know what? Maybe that experience of playing 3, 4, I'm sure how many years he played in college, at least 3, 4 years, is starting to show. That's why I don't see this Ty Simpson kid doing much. What, he had 1 year of starting? And most of his best games were at the start of the season? Tyler Shuck at least has some experience. Played 3, 4 years in college. And you know what? Once the game slowed down for him, they realized, hey, we have something here. And they need to do a big reset there anyway. So hopefully this begins their reset, while still trying to be competitive. So I'll give them a B+ for so far.
Nice. Alf has got a comment. New Orleans now have their quarterback of the future, 5 good, great offensive linemen, a top 10 wide receiver, a very good RB1, and an ascending defense. They're my favorite to win the NFC South next season. That's a nice statement there. I'm going to have to reach out to our friend of the K&K Sports Show Network and Surge Sports, Joey Clams. He's our sports wagering expert. And for you, Alf, I'll give him a mention see if he likes New Orleans to win the NFC South. And I can get a price for everybody. And we call it pizza money. Gamble responsibly, everybody. Pizza money means what you would spend on a pizza or pizza topping is what you put a couple dollars on it if you're out there sports wagering. But gamble responsibly. I'll get that for you, Alf. I'll find out if he likes the Saints as a sleeper value pick to win the NFC South next year. And he's going prediction the Saints are going to get Mekhi Lemon or Ruben Bain at pick 8. Intrigues him. We're going to have draft show coming up, draft coverage. We're going to be covering a lot of the draft upcoming, Alf. So please tune in for those shows as well.
Don't forget, guys, they got Juwan Johnson, who really started coming into his own as a starting caliber tight end this year as well.
That's right. And they brought in Noah Fant, who's a nice backup. Scoop, want to give some thoughts on the Saints? You're down there in Mississippi, down that area, close to Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm probably closest to New Orleans of any NFL city. It's also just funny to see him say the Saints getting Mekhi Lemon at pick 8 intrigues him, because that's the second time that a pick that I've had on my mock draft today was mentioned on this show. I have them getting Mekhi Lemon at number 8. So here's the thing. So first of all, we already talked about Tyler Shuck. Now, obviously, the key is going to be repeating that and trying to build on that, right? Because we see a lot of quarterbacks who can play well for a few games in their rookie year, and then they either plateau or they fall off in their second year and beyond. So the key is obviously going to be get Kellen Moore and company going to be able to help him repeat that and build on it. I do not understand the amount that they paid for David Edwards. I think that 4 for 61 for an for a guard, especially of his level, is I didn't really follow that, especially for a team that doesn't look like they're going heavy on the run this coming year. So I was a little confused by that. I know he had a solid pass blocking grade this year, but just not a too rich for my taste for what he is. That being said, Noah Fant, you put a young quarterback with a veteran tight end that typically is a solid match, especially somebody who's as sure-handed as he is. Drops about less than 4% of the catches thrown his way, and averages almost a yard and a third per route run or better each year. So just a couple of numbers that I was able to pull up quickly. So we'll see how that goes. Again, this is kind of an odd combination where we're looking at both an unexpected rookie quarterback in his second year and also a rookie head coach in his second year. Maybe odd combination was a poor choice of words, but an unheralded and unproven combination. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. Big Etienne guy. My concern with him, similarly as it was about everybody and their mother trying to get Jeremiah Love drafted there at number 8, is I don't trust that offensive line to block the run all that well. So that having that concern that I do, whether or not they decide to go Jeremiah Love at number 8, which seems less likely now, but I wouldn't rule it out, even though I don't think it's a good idea. I think there's a ceiling to what Travis Etienne's going to be able to accomplish down there, unless they really improve the run blocking on that, or add another tight end there. And Caden Ellis is probably my favorite signing that they made rather. He goes back to I think he was there in the past. I like the contract itself that he was given. He's been consistent the last few years, both blitzing and pass rushing in general and otherwise. Gets a lot of pressures, gets a lot of sacks, and also at the same time, again, he's kind of not he doesn't exactly have a Pat Mahomes or someone of that caliber in his division that he's going to be trying to get down. Like it's not like we're looking at a QB heavy division in the NFC South. So that could potentially help his numbers as well. Also, just real quick at the bottom there, Alf sucks at mock drafts. I will laugh every time I say that. I think Love is gone at 4. That would be a wild pick, in my opinion. I mean, personally, I'd be surprised and confused, really, at anybody drafting him higher than Kansas City at 9. But it seems like the hype may end up getting him overdrafted.
Yeah, let me get a couple comments on the Saints, and then looking at the time, we're not going to obviously get to every team here, but I want to hit the Steelers, who Bobby covers and has a new show on Surge Sports. I want to hit them. And then I want to hit the Ravens and the Raiders to wrap up the show this evening. But a couple more comments on the Saints. Alf sucks at mock draft. I like Edwards, and they signed him after the Lindenbaum deal. So his price probably got driven up a bit last minute.
Good point.
Glenn was saying, very good offseason for the Saints. Noah Fant is good. He could see them trading back. Overpaid Edwards, though, but I agree with Alf. Once Lindenbaum got paid, the record-breaking deal for an interior lineman, offensive linemen are going to get paid in free agency.
Remind me, where did Linderbaum go? I don't even remember.
Raiders, 3 for $80 in a record-breaking deal.
They've been spending money like there's a mint in Vegas.
Yeah. Let's take a moment or two on the Steelers, and then I'd like Bobby to talk about his new show that he has on Surge Sports that debuted this week. Steelers made 2 notable moves. Jamal Dean, he was linked to the Giants, 3 for 36. They take him from Tampa Bay, the corner. Good zone coverage corner, in my opinion. And the move I like, underrated move, bargain hunting. You got him in the bargain aisle. Rico Dottle comes over for 2 years, 12 million
Yeah.
to take over as the running back there with Jalen Warren. I think that's going to be a nice one too. And of course, the trade they made for Michael Pittman, Bobby. I'm going to give them a B plus. Not many moves, but they improved in the moves they did make, in my opinion. And please let's know about the new show you got going on Surge and talk about your Steelers a little bit.
Sure. New show is Big Blue, Black and Yellow. I've said this for almost my whole life, especially doing the sports stuff, that I am a Steelers and Giants fan. I'm here in my man cave, and well, you'll see it in the front here of my display are both three mini helmets: Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and Giants. So those are my three teams, and I felt it's kind of cool. We kind of nicknamed the show. What's her name? Rooney Mara, because the actress, because she's bred from both families, right? Well, so is this show, because we cover both teams, and they're somehow intertwined through business and family. So, those are my two teams. So far I'm liking what the Steelers are doing. The only thing, the big question is now, who's the quarterback? Is it going to be Rodgers coming back? Is it going to be Kirk Cousins? Who people don't realize? I mean, people don't kind of realize this. The average fan, when you come off of an Achilles injury, it's year 2 when you really start playing like your old self.
Right.
It happened to Rodgers, right? He was awful that first year with the Jets. He wasn't that bad last year. Yeah, he's older as far as the mobility thing. So Cousins is a couple years younger than Rodgers. So I would take either one. By the way, I don't know if you guys realize this. There's a reason why Kyler Murray is not mentioned in anything right now, because he has not officially been designated a June 1st cut yet.
That's right.
So until they do so, there's no they can't publicly speculate about where he's going, because he's still on the team yet. Now you got to make those things ahead of time so you can get it out there that you're releasing this guy. But he hasn't been. It's probably inevitable. He's not been designated that spot.
He's gonna take a physical soon with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings are interesting because it's going to be Murray or Cousins, right?
And Graham, if you put your comment up there, you'll see, Bobby, what Graham just said.
Oh yeah, there we go. Visiting the Vikings tomorrow.
Yeah, so that makes total sense. Like I said, our biggest question now, quarterback. That being said, I love the Pittman move. I know some people don't. See, a lot of my stuff that I build my knowledge on and talking football, especially, which is probably my favorite thing to do, sports-wise, comes from playing high-level fantasy football, which I do. Because you learn a lot about players, right? You learn a lot about, just from having them on your team or playing against them, you learn a lot about how these players are in real life, in real football. So Pittman is a guy who had a couple of really good years, and kind of Pierce just became the flavor of the month, right? Pittman just took a step back. Right. Pittsburgh is going to have 2 6'3" or plus, 2 6'3" or taller guys now in the red zone. That's pretty damn alarming. Usually teams have 1. We're going to have 2 now. And Rico Dowdle, I think, last year it was kind of obvious. You had Jalen Warren in there. He would come out for Gainwell, Scoob's old boy, and what happens? It was a run. It was probably a pass. It was so obvious what was kind of happening. Well, Rico Dowdle now, maybe I think he's not reached his full potential yet as a pass catcher, and that's why they made the move for.
Yeah.
Now I would have loved Gainwell to have stayed, and Gainwell and Tampa is very intriguing, offensive wise as a weapon. But I like what Steelers have done so far. Cameron Hayward add 1 more year so he can retire a Pittsburgh Steeler. I thought it was a great move. Couple pieces here and there, and like I said, we're going to be okay. Quarterback's the question. And I mentioned this during our show as well to my guy Jersey Frank on Tuesday. What's the difference right now between Ty Simpson and Will Howard?
Not much.
To me, they're the same damn player.
Mm-hmm. I think Will Howard might get a chance.
Will Howard at least went through. He was a starter at Kansas State. Went to Ohio State, had a great season, won the championship. And, all right, Ty Simpson played 8 games, 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't see us delving into the Ty Simpson market. Let's see what we have here. We know Rudolph's a high-quality backup. And, if we get Rodgers back, the only thing people, I think, are counting too much on is the fact that McCarthy and Rodgers played together, obviously, in Green Bay, won a chip. But they didn't have the greatest relationship towards the end. So I think people are counting too much into that. So I guess I'd be happy with Rodgers or Kirk Cousins at this point. We are a win-now team. Mike McCarthy is a win-now hire, not a development guy like a Sean McVay, a young guy who's going to be there for like the usual thing, 10, 15 years, right?
Gotta say hello and aloha, guys, to Patrick out there in Hawaii. Bobby's got some coffee coming your way.
Right.
Should be there soon. Scoops, reach out to Patrick. He'll get you some coffee too. I know you're a big coffee drinker, so
I certainly
reach
am.
out. Reach out to him. He'll take care of you. Takes care of all of us. He's saying better be caffeinated. Lots of exciting stuff to cover. Yeah, for sure. A draft coming up in the upcoming months. And
so what are his thoughts about this Italian thing with the espresso? Is he pumped about that?
Any espresso type of coffees down there with Lion Coffee there, Patrick, that you can relate to espresso, if not necessarily espresso? We're just curious about the espresso. If you got anything like that, Patrick, let us know.
This Italian team is doing bonkers. I mean, with the espresso.
Yeah, they got the espresso maker in the locker room there. That's awesome. But let's do this, guys. We're getting a little short on time. I do want to cover 2 more teams. Scoops wanted to cover the Ravens, so I'm going to give him an opportunity to talk a minute. But let me give you the moves that they made, and let me pull them up. And like I said, we're not going to get to everything. So while we're talking about the Ravens and then the Raiders, guys, you can come out with any questions. We'll be glad to answer them. So let me just find the Ravens here. And for some reason I lost the Ravens card. But Trey Hendrickson, the big move after the fact that they backed out of the Max Crosby deal, Scoop, and they go and get Trey Hendrickson. And you know what? Scoop may have a difference of opinion. He may have the same opinion, but I'm just going to say this. If I'm the Ravens, this is why I don't like legal tampering. There's nothing set in stone that you're on the team. You just reach to a verbal agreement, whether it's through a trade or through free agency. It's an agreement word to word. It's a handshake. There's nothing in writing. And you know what? Trey Hendrickson became available. I don't know if there's a so-called medical reason, but when Trey Hendrickson became available, get Hendrickson for the same price you can get Crosby, and not have to give up 2 first-round picks, I may be doing the same thing the Ravens may be doing and canceling that trade. So Trey Hendrickson becomes a Raider. Max Crosby's currently a Raider. We'll do the Raiders after the Ravens, Scoop, but the floor is yours. You wanted to talk about it for a minute or two, so I'm going to hand it off to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go I'm going to try and go quickly. That never usually happens, but first about the legal tampering. What a crock of shit that is. The last 3 or 4 years, but even before that, but the last 3 or 4 years, even the analysts, even the agents, everybody knows what a joke legal tampering is. Everybody, they make jokes over what a joke legal tampering is. We have seen this happen time and again, whether it was a trade. Eagles fans like myself remember the Frank Gore fiasco a decade ago before we got DeMarco Murray. And then Chip Kelly didn't know how to use him. So you got every couple of years this stuff happens. And whether it's a trade or a free agent. And that's why we have the phrases like agreed in principle or have reached, like you said, verbal agreement or whatever. But if you're going to have teams just allowed to negotiate or talk to or God knows what, like all these things that come in after 12 p.m. Eastern or 11 p.m. Central, whatever, on Wednesday, who actually believes, and how naive do they think we are to think that all these negotiations and all these deals are coming to fruition within the first 90 seconds of the clock starting? So that's one absurdity to me. But the next one, and I feel more strongly about this. Eric DeCosta is an absolute fraud because we've multiple times now he has done this. He did this whole thing with the conversations, and then apparently backing out for legal, and we know this. We can pretty much surmise that this happened on the Ravens end because the Raiders, when they made their announcement, said the Ravens called this deal off. They didn't say we've agreed to nix the deal or whatever. So clearly something happened on the Ravens end, and there's reports that it was what's the word, physical or one thing or another. But, and I'm going to quote my buddy Rob, because he talked about the fact that unless this was coming, because we knew he had just had major surgery. So unless he wasn't going to pass the physical anyway, which is probable because of him just having had the freaking surgery, unless they had reason to believe he was never going to play again, this whole thing is just so weird to me. And the reason why I point my finger at Eric DeCosta is because he's done this 3 times in the past year or so. He did this with Jair Alexander when he traded him, and 11 days later he goes and he hasn't broken any rules specifically, but this is the 3rd time now that a deal in which he was actively involved has now blown up because of an injury or because of something involving negotiating with the teams. It smells very used car salesman-y to me. And so that whole thing is just very, very sketchy and shady to me. And I hope he has to answer for that at some point because, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. We all know how that ends. But I think that Max Crosby, it was clear he didn't. It was clear he was in no rush. I'll say that, to leave the Raiders. I didn't hear that a lot of teams were interested in getting back in on the market after that deal blew up, but buyer beware in terms of negotiating with the Ravens going forward. If you're any team, that's just my opinion, because something smells very, very fishy when it comes to dealing with Eric DeCosta.
Well said, Scoops. Bobby, I want to do the Raiders, and I want to give you Patrick's question, which we will all answer.
Can I respond to Scoop real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
No, I just want to say the one damning thing I read today about the whole situation was they better hope or have found a career-threatening injury.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no reason to pull the plug like that.
Yeah.
They knew about the surgery. They knew about the recovery time. That was all ahead of time. It was all out
exactly.
there.
This was not like this was not lacking for being public knowledge. That was a wonky way to phrase it, but like unless the only thing that it sounds like to me is that they either got cold feet on it or they got public like fan whatever that about the amount that they were getting back, and that the deal was going to be bad from their side, and they had and they backed out because of the reaction to it. That's the only thing I can come up with, because like you said, unless it's a genuinely career, like you said, very bad look.
Another thing also, real quick, one more thing. They also said they probably screwed a third team because there was probably somebody about to sign Hendrickson, right? Thought they had a deal in place with Hendrickson, but all of a sudden they scooped in, and after this was all done, 12 hours later, guess who we signed? Oh wow, what a surprise! So yeah, something's fishy all around there.
Let me read Glenn's comment, and then I'm with Glenn. Glenn loves what the Ravens did. Protected themselves with a long-term potential injured Crosby. High possibility that meniscus and other knee issues existed, meaning 3 to 4 years, questionable. You have to independently evaluate the knee in the final 2 years on a $120 million deal. We got a Commanders fan coming in. Commanders sweeping y'all again. So I guess he's talking about us Giants there, Bobby, because I got the Giants in the background. Because Scoop is the Eagle fan, and you didn't sweep the Eagles last year. But bring it on. We back up. I'm looking forward to a nice rivalry with the Commanders, and thanks for hopping on.
Commanders better hope that Jaden Daniels was not a 1 year wonder.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
And I,
not
I
good
live
last
here in
year.
Maryland. We back up. I'm around
They also
in
got. They also
Commanders
better hope that
country.
Dan Quinn doesn't get him killed this coming year, like he almost did this season.
But here, look, let me give you. I told Kurt. So this is the scenario. Here, then we're going to do a simple scenario here, and then we're going to get into the Raiders with Patrick's question to wrap up the show. I told Kurt today. We talked about this. So Bobby, Scoops and I are coming in to interview for a job, and we're both deadlocked. You don't know what kind of decision to make. You flip a coin. You give me the job for $25 an hour. Scoops, sorry, we're gonna move on, this and that. Gets leaked out, Scoops, and you come in, your asking price was $25. You call Bobby back and say, you know what, I can work for $20 million $20 an hour. There's a good chance Bobby's going to call me and back out of the deal that he offered me because it's not in writing, and he offers that job to Scoop for $5 less. And I think that's something similar that the Ravens did because they didn't lose 2 first-round picks now. And it's called legal tampering. That needs to stop. Free agency should have just started on Monday, the offseason on Monday. No legal tampering should be allowed. And that's it. You sign, you're done. And then we wouldn't have this talk today if that was the case.
They woke up and realized that they gave up too much for the guy with 2 first-round draft picks, with no other blockbuster trades since that one Friday night was announced. They're like, we gave up way too much for this guy. Oh, look at this. I think they knew they thought other things were going to happen.
Yeah.
Other big trades that would have matched that, and they would have been okay. No, they knew they wildly screwed up by offering 2 first-round draft picks, and like I said, they want to get out of it.
Let's do one more team. Let's talk about those Raiders. Patrick, I'll give you the offseason moves, and then Patrick, our good friend Patrick Wiltsey, had a good question that we were going to ask tonight. Tyler Lindenbaum, highest paid interior lineman in history, gets 3 years, $80 million to play center. Then they made some defensive moves that I love. Nakobe Dean, 3 years for 36, steals him away from Scoop and the Eagles. Great move, I think, for the Raiders. Quay Walker, underrated when it comes to, linebackers, in my opinion. 3 years, $40 million. 2 linebackers. Kwity Paye, Colts, 3 years, $48 million. So they take him away from the Colts, an edge rusher, interior line, defensive lineman. And then they bring back Malcolm Kuntz, an underrated edge rusher, and Eric Stokes, temporarily now with Max Crosby. I'm giving this a B+. I'm giving this offseason a B+, but let me give you guys Patrick's question, and I'll let you guys answer first. This way I don't, steal any of your answers. Where will Max Crosby be playing week 1, 2026 season, Scoops? I'll go to Scoops first. Yeah, I'll go to Scoops first.
You said me, right? Because I heard
Yeah.
Blackjack starting to talk, so I just didn't want to cut him off.
Yep, we'll go to you first.
All right. So if you're asking me right now, and just based on the way that, like in terms of who's where right now, this is tough. I don't see. I think it's now increasingly unlikely that they're. I don't think they feel like they're in any rush to move him, because again, this isn't like somebody like a Myles Garrett a couple of years ago who was pounding the table. I want to get out of here, and now the Raiders have arguably improved their team more than anybody else this last 3 days. So they very well, and they have the freaking number 1 overall pick. So, if you know you're going to get the best quarterback prospect in the draft, at least according to most people, you just became one of the most improved teams, if not the most improved team over the last 72 hours. Max Crosby doesn't seem like he's in any rush to leave, and and this is another question that I often ask when it comes to trading, like not just players, but really, really elite caliber players. Let's say you get those. Let's say you get another team willing to offer you. Let's say it's a 1 and a 2. Now, not 2 1s. Let's say it's a 1 and a 2. What's the likelihood that you're going to take with a 1 or a 2 in the next, draft or so, a player that's going to become as good as Matt Crosby? It ain't likely. It ain't likely. So, if I'm them, I'm just holding on to him, I think, and seeing, how my season goes now having an actual quarterback there. At least we believe so. So as of right now, I'm just going to predict that he stays in Las Vegas.
Fair enough. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I got one team, but the Raiders are my top choice. Bobby, fellow Giant fan, fellow Steelers fan, I should say, good friend of mine and Kurt's from high school and grammar school, Jay Cook saying gentlemen. Bobby just started a new Steelers/Giants show on the Surge Sports Network. Jay, go check it out. I know you got a lot of big Steeler fan over there. I know you're a huge Steeler fan, Jay, and thanks for always hopping on and supporting us over here on all our shows. I got the Raiders, but I'm going to let Bobby go first, so I don't want to steal his thunder if he has a team besides the Raiders.
Yeah, kind of like what Scoop said. The players, the top players, for the most part, have changed hands if they were going to, right? And he was definitely top 3 of the free agents available before the Friday's announcement. So, and everybody else, that's what's so messed up about this whole thing is that they lost opportunities to send him somewhere else because the whole damn free agency has come in and it's still going. So in that scenario, unless the Cowboys come in and find money from somewhere, who else is it going to be? Who else has money left like that?
I'm going to throw a team.
Maybe the Jets? Maybe the Jets?
Yeah, it could be, but I doubt. I don't think that.
And you know what?
I don't think they give up their first round picks because they need a quarterback.
Well, yeah, he got 3 next year, right?
I got a sleeper team. I got a sleeper team that nobody's mentioned. The Chicago Bears.
I can see him standing there. I can see him staying there. And you know what? Who's gonna yell back at Tom Brady and say, "You guys screwed up. I want to go"? He's talking about Tom Brady here. No one's gonna usurp him and try to outmuscle the office guy. The office guy is Tom Brady. You don't outmuscle Tom Brady.
No. Let me give you the Chicago Bears real quick, and then we'll get some final thoughts in. Chicago Bears offseason. Kobe Bryant, their big signing. I like this signing. Safety, 3 years, $40 million. Then they signed Case Keenum, 2 years, $5 million. And Khalif Raymond, who I like. I think he's a good, 3 or 4 wide receiver on a team. They gave him a 1 year, $3.2 million. It's a team that didn't spend much in free agency. They still got the Caleb Williams deal on a rookie deal. This could be a sleeper team for Max Crosby, and a team that got pretty far last year and was very dangerous and close to the NFC Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl last year. They're ahead of schedule, and I could see them being a sleeper team for Max Crosby, guys. Just a thought. But want to get some final thoughts in, guys? Anything else you want to discuss? I know there's a lot of teams we didn't hit. We didn't hit Miami with Malik Willis. We didn't hit some other teams. It's just not enough time.
Well, we'll do part 2 next week.
We can do part 2 next week for sure. Got all these teams listed, and it's going to be a ton more news when next week comes up, leading into the draft. But why don't we get some final thoughts in, and I'll hand it off to Scoop first. Special guest tonight. What's the scoop? Give us a little plug of your show, what you got going on tomorrow, my friend.
All right. Actually, it's a double plug because not only do we have What's the Scoop going on tomorrow, We have a double header because FAH is also going to be back tomorrow night. So I hope you don't mind that I'll take the chance and mention both of those. With mostly the same group, we've got myself, Brandon Furtado, Rob Zalosi, and I have to double check. I think our friend Shane Hansen's going to join us for FAH, but I don't have that confirmed. But again, tomorrow, a lot of free agency talk, a lot of WBC talk, probably some spring training talk. So yeah, expect that to be very dominated by football and then baseball. I'm sure we'll end up talking a little bit about the history made the other day by the Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo, but which is going to look great because which was kind of infamous among my friends, rooted for the Miami Heat when I was much younger, and then said I was not watching them anymore after they drafted Bam Adebayo, which makes me look incredibly stupid right now. But in all seriousness, I'm very grateful that those guys have joined us, and I'm very grateful that we've got 2 great shows planned tomorrow night. So people love talking about my coffee and talking about my excessive caffeine intake. You ain't ready for what I'm gonna have to have tomorrow night in order to get through back-to-back shows. But I'm excited for the doubleheader. It's doubleheader season with baseball coming up, and the first one is tomorrow with these 2 shows back-to-back.
Awesome. Thanks again, Scoop, for coming on tonight. Always a
Thank you
pleasure
for having me on, Kenny,
having
and
you on
Blackjack.
side by
Always good to
side.
see you.
2 quick ones for me, Bobby, before we get your final thoughts and the final word tonight. Patrick did respond to the espresso. He says you can grind any of the coffee beans very fine and it becomes an espresso
Awesome.
from Lion Coffee. So I'm sure you'll be getting some of the stuff there to
my new thing
grind.
here. I think it's my new thing, espresso. I fall asleep so easily. I think I need a little jolt here and there.
Nice. And Glenn, I know you've been with us since the beginning. Appreciate you out there in Australia and along with everybody. I don't want to miss anybody here, but Glenn was saying sleepers are Titans and Cowboys for Max Crosby. But Glenn, being a big Bam Adebayo fan, Miami Heat fan, you just heard Scoops. Go check them out tomorrow night. They'll be definitely interactive with you for sure. Go check them out. And I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Scoop, I'm going to give Bobby the final word, but thank you guys both for coming on. K&K Sports Show back tonight, first time in a little over a month. Fun stuff, a lot of people in the audience, and Surge Sports powering us and bringing us on their network. Not only YouTube channel, but the Roku and Amazon Fire. Check all our shows out there. We lost Graham, so he did post it up earlier in the comments. Please click the link, give us a like, subscribe to all the channels, Surge Sports and K&K. Helps the channels out. It's free of charge. Appreciate you all. Have a good week. We'll see everybody on Sunday. We'll have a mock draft show.
Wait, I got a final thing.
Yeah, I'm going to let you get the final words. We'll be Sunday. I'm sorry, Sunday March Madness bracket show. Kurt Valenti, myself, our good friend Carson Shear. We put on a show like no other. It'll be live on Surge Sports and K&K Sports Show. Come check us out. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday evening. Bobby, final words tonight.
Final thoughts. This is the craziest thing I saw today. Again, doing my reading and not whatever research and whatnot. Supposedly there is a deal out there that they say is legit. The New York Jets have offered 4 or 5 first-round picks, their stud receiver, other draft considerations for Patrick Mahomes.
I saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. That is wild.
That is, if that's not worse than the Herschel Walker trade or dynamic as the Herschel Walker trade, I don't know what is.
The only thing that I can think of that's worse is still the Deshaun Watson trade, but it's damn close.
I just don't know. I mean, and people aren't refuting it either. Supposedly it's out there, you know? Crazy.
Real quick, Bobby, one more, and then I'll let you get the exact. Yeah. Definitely get the phone. Glenn, bring this to What's the Scoop tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Thank the Red Sox fans for me, Kenny, but we're going to say Scoop instead. So Scoop tomorrow. Thank the Red Sox fans for Rafi Devers going to his San Francisco Giants last year. He's a Giants. He's a San Francisco Giants fan, so he wants you to go on the air tomorrow and thank the Red Sox fans for Rafael Devers. And as a Yankee fan, I think guys, Bobby and I think I'm glad. I'll thank them as well.
Well, see. Here's the thing. I get where he's coming from, but the freaking Red Sox got better after trading Rafi Devers.
Well, he's saying thank them because they got Devers. They're Giants. He's a Giant fan.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the Red Sox got even better for trading Devers anyway. So it's
yeah. Anything else, Bobby?
No, I'm good.
Hall
I'm
this
good.
week is the Big East tournament. When's that starting? For Seton Hall.
It's on now, actually, I believe.
All right.
The first, I'll be here tomorrow at the Garden.
Got a Seton Hall show coming on afterwards, post game tonight.
No, if anything, we'll have one tomorrow. I haven't seen what the other team's doing yet.
Okay.
A lot of us are going to be at the Garden tomorrow, so they may have to wait till Friday.
Be sure to click a like. Go add the Search Sports channel on the Roku, Amazon. There's a live channel on there, live broadcasting. You can catch our show. What's the Scoop? Bobby's
And
Black,
I just
Blue, and
texted our buddy Kurt. Kurt's not going to the Garden this week.
Yeah.
Which means he's not a confident St. Johnny's fan.
Exactly.
If you don't mind, I'm going to take this opportunity to just mention this real quick. Shaheen Holloway got the Big East Coach of the Year award the other day, so and much well deserved.
Good job there, Scoops. Everybody in the audience, thank you so much for the interaction, the comments, the questions. Drop them later on. We'll answer them. Appreciate everybody. Sunday, March Madness show. Monday, New York Giants show. Tomorrow, What's the Scoop? Lots of programming on Surge and K&K. Come check us out, and have a good night, everybody.
Good night.